Okay, so we're going to continue on with our knowledge of oil pastels. So just a reminder, oil pastels are created by mixing color, pigment, with non-drying oil or wax, and that's why they're called oil pastels, and that's why they feel a bit oily when you touch them. Okay, so these are wonderful materials to use. They're so very bright. They can give you nice heavy colors or light colors depending on the pressure. They can be used on paper, wood, and clay. And we're going to learn a little more techniques on how to use these things. So we should already know these things by now. So pressing soft, pressing hard. You can mix them, white, black, or you can mix colors together to create new colors. And you can do that by using your fingers. You can blend the colors, so starting with red all the way up to yellow. These are warm, these are cool colors, and we do that by layering, so blending or layering. So now we're going to learn a bit more advanced techniques. So I'm going to start here with resist. So this is oil pastel resist, and all this is you're going to draw with oil pastel. And this would be good, like maybe if you wanted to outline a shape, like let's say you're drawing a house, you outline the house with oil pastel, and then you want to paint it in. This might be a good option. Okay, so I'm just doing a non-objective design there, and this is resist with watercolors. So a little bit of science, oil and water don't mix. So if I'm going to put some water on this oil, it's not going to mix together. Nothing's going to happen. So what I'm doing is I'm getting a bucket of water, a paintbrush, and watercolor paints, and I'm going to pick out a color, and I'm going to paint right on top of the oil pastel. And you're going to tell nothing is happening to that oil pastel. It is still showing up nice and bright because the oil and the water don't like each other. They want to avoid each other. So this is a really cool technique, and this is also called mixed media. You're mixing your media, so you're using oil pastels and watercolor paints to create an image. So that one's really cool. Alright, next we have sgraffito. Next we have stippling and scumbling. So I'm going to move down here, okay? So stippling is kind of what it sounds like. You're going to just kind of make marks like that. Okay, so this might be good if you're drawing like a texture of hair. You can layer. Or let's say you just wanted to make your piece really stylized and just do it a different way. This means everything is going in the same direction. You're making a mark, picking it back up, making the mark again. So you're not coloring back and forth like this. And this provides a lot of energy, I feel. It looks maybe like this would be good for movement, showing something going fast. Okay, so that is stippling. Scumbling is when you're going to kind of move in a circle. And again, this could be good for stylized stuff. This could be good if you're making a tree, and you can layer colors. It adds a bit of texture, a little fun thing to look at. Okay, so that is stippling and scumbling. Okay, and I'm going to move here now. I'm going to do oil mixing. So oil mixing, let's say I'm going to draw an apple here. Okay, and I'm just going to lightly color it in. I'm not pressing hard. And I'm going to put some white over here, maybe with a little bit of orange, just so I'm layering colors. And then I'm going to put a little black over here. Okay, and you can kind of tell it's not too, doesn't look too great right now. Looks kind of sloppy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take oil. So this is oil mixing. So I'm just using baby oil. So I just poured a little bit into a container, just a little. I don't need a lot because baby oil is a little smelly. And I have a Q-tip. And I'm going to put the Q-tip on the paper, and I'm going to move the Q-tip back and forth. And you're going to be able to tell that these colors are blending into one another with the oil. The thing you want to be careful about though is oil can stain the paper and oil can stain your clothes. So this is a technique you have to use caution with. But I really like the way this looks when it's all done because it looks a lot softer and it almost really gives the effect of like paint. Okay, so you can see how these colors are nicely moving into one another with the use of that oil. Oil mixing. Alright, and last but not least, we have two different sgraffito methods. So that's a fun word, sgraffito. Basically that means to scratch through. So I will start with the basic sgraffito method, which is here, and I'm just going to color, flat color. And then I'm going to take a tool. Some people use like paper clips. I'm going to try out a wooden stylus. So this is just a wooden stick and it has a point to it. And you can scratch through your oil pastel to draw your image. So whatever it is you want to draw, you can draw a face, you could draw an airplane, whatever it is, just to make it a little different. Instead of just drawing something on white paper, why not put a color down and then draw on top of that color. Change it up a bit. Okay? Sgraffito. And then this is a different type of sgraffito. So this is sgraffito with paint. So what I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to color, and I'm going to use two different colors here. Maybe three different colors. I'm feeling adventurous. So I color it flat, just like that. And then I'm going to put some paint on it. So I chose black, and it's just on a scrap sheet of paper, and this is tempera, liquid tempera paint. You do not need a wet brush. You can just grab a dry brush, and you're going to paint right on top of your color. Now the key here is you don't want the paint to be gloopy or gloppy. You want it to be smooth. And I would do 2 layers. Okay, so that means you have to have a little bit of patience and wait for this to dry. Now you see how it's kind of gloppy here on the edges? Smooth it out, smooth it out. That means I just keep going over it. If I need to wipe some onto my paint palette or my bucket, then I wipe some off. It's better to do thin layers than thick. So smooth it out, get your nice thin layer, wait for that to dry, put on another layer. Okay, so now that I have waited for the paint to dry on my sgraffito box here, I am ready to move on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, take something sharp, like a wooden stylus here, and you're going to just scratch through and make a design. So the difference here, regular sgraffito, it's just scratching through the color, where sgraffito with paint is you're scratching through the paint to reveal the color underneath. So you can play a little more with removing even more paint. That way we get these nice effects, these nice little things that pop through, shine through. It's really exciting to see as an art viewer, all this kind of stuff. Okay, especially if you have a lot of different colors underneath there. It can really shine through if if the paint that you did on top was a darker color. So this is called scratch art, scratching away from a surface to reveal the image underneath. Okay, so it's kind of like you're drawing through all of this media. You're removing part of it to show what's under it. Sgraffito. Okay, so here are all of our oil pastel techniques. We have a lot here to play with this year, and I can't wait to see what you guys create.